First things you're going to find in your box are this cushion set. You'll find your happy bag. This is your footrest, cup holder, and then you have a bag with 2 spreader bars in it and 2 steel stiffeners for your footrests, and a bag of hardware. This is the arm assembly, which is partially tied, but once you've got down to here, we're ready to start assembling the chair. The hardware pack that comes with the chair consists of a chain, a tool for assembling, 2 brakes, an S-hook, a lag screw, 8 nuts and bolts, 8 caps for the head of the bolt. Any hardware store will carry additional lengths of chain, S-hooks, and carabiners depending on your particular installation. So if you haven't already put your lag screw into your joist, please do. You may have a pergola, gazebo, wherever it is you're hanging it, put the hang point up first, and then we're going to take the arm assembly out of the box and hang it up right here. For starters, it's pretty much a big mess. And if you'll locate the S-hook and just hang it up to get started. The arms are already tied on what's called the foot of the arm, and they're not tied on what's called the head of the arm. Notice that the steep drop, as opposed to the shallow rise, steep drop is the foot, the shallow rise is the head. The rope on each arm runs from the foot through the overhead spreader, and it will be tied to the head of the arm. I'm going to do that now. Twist it as it goes through, and you're just going to tie a simple overhand, often called a granny knot. You're just going to slide that rope through there, secure it. All of these knots can be adjusted later. You don't have to worry about making sure they're even at this point. Inside your box, you're going to find a plastic bag containing 2 more spreader bars. Take one of your spreader bars out, 2 holes in the end of each spreader bar, and there are 2 matching holes in the arm itself. Now I have both bolts in one of the arms, on both the top spreader and the bottom spreader. When you take your cushion out of the bag, there will be a top and a bottom and a front and a back. The bottom of the cushion has got loose straps, connecting straps on it. The back of the cushion has weep holes and the connecting straps on it. You'll see 2 sleeves, one on the top and one halfway down on the bottom. Let's take these 2 connecting straps and connect them. This just keeps this out of our way. So we're going to connect that piece and connect that piece. That helps us tell which is the top and the bottom easily. So if you're having any trouble at this point, you'll see 5 segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the bottom of that 5th segment is your second sleeve. Remember, the top spreader bar goes on the front of the arm. The bottom spreader bar goes on the back side of the arm. If you have a ratchet and socket, this is a 9/16. Fits that head easily. Remember the tool that comes with your hardware pack. Now we have 2 bolts in each corner. The chair's still not hanging level. Again, don't worry about that right now. Now let's look at the lounger, the fold-out lounger underneath. Inside your box, you'll find 2 metal stiffener bars. These stiffener bars drop down inside of the pockets. There's a Velcro tab. Slide the stiffener bar down, close the tab on top of it. And secure your quick release buckles just like that. Inside the box is one last shorter wicker rod. Spin the chair around so you can look at the lounger, the fold-out lounger underneath, and slide the end, the loose end, through the last remaining sleeve. One of these pieces of rope has the S-hook on it, the other one is empty. Take the empty piece and just tie another granny knot in the end of that. Then this whole assembly lives underneath the chair like that. Let's level that spreader bar. You have two options. You can untie the big knot at the top, or you can untie one of the knots at the side. This chair obviously needs to be brought up on this end, so we're going to raise this up. And it's easiest to do this if you unhook the chair first. If you find that your chair is still at an angle after you've leveled the overhead spreader bar, then you can shorten or lengthen one of the triangles. Try to ensure that the overhead spreader bar stays parallel to the back of the chair. You don't want to try to level it out if it's cockeyed. Height is a matter of preference, but I find that if I adjust the chair so that it hits me right behind the knees, that works best for me. Watch what happens when I sit down in this chair for the first time. The ropes have to stretch. Give it a few good bounces. Call your dog over. The ropes will continue to stretch the first few times you sit in it, but make sure that you've stretched it out first and then readjust the height. Once you've sat in the chair and the knots have tightened up, it's going to be a little harder to loosen them. It's always easiest to adjust if you set the chair down and adjust it while it's sitting on the ground with no pressure on the knots. I've adjusted this chair a little higher because I know it's going to continue to stretch the first few times I sit in it. Now the chair feels like it's tipping too far forward. That's where these brakes come in. You adjust the tilt of the chair by using these brakes. And I'm going to do that now. If I want the chair to tilt back more, and I do, I'm going to push the brake forward on the chair. And you don't have to push it far, because when you push this brake forward on the rope, it's lifting the front and dropping the back at the same time. The last thing is your lounger unclips on the back. And now your S-hook can catch up here. If you want to put the chair in more of a reclining position, push these clips forward on the rope. Happy Bag has a Velcro closer. You have two footrests with this chair. When you're not using the fold-out lounger, unhook it. Put the rope in the pocket in the back. And secure it with the straps. You also have a conventional footrest. Signing off from Chair Paradise. What's wrong? What's wrong with this picture? Not very much.